All right, everybody, welcome back. So you got a quick look at what this thing can do. I thought this was kind of cool because it does use the isobutane canisters. It is made of stainless steel, aluminum alloy, and a little bit of copper on the inside here for the tubing. Weighs about 11.3 ounces. Comes with a nice storage bag. Okay, you got your bag there. And you do have a set of feet for your canister. So basically what you're going to do is spread these out like that and put your gas canister in it, and it will sit there flat. However, I probably would not use these. I find just putting the gas canister down on the ground works. However, if you're on a little bit of uneven land or area, that might help out a little bit. So that's what it comes with. It is a very simple item. And instead of running on a big propane canister or 20-gallon propane tank, this runs on isobutane. Now, one of the things I look for when looking for stuff like this is how well it's made. Now, out of all the reviews on Amazon, again, I look for this stuff all the time. So, out of all the reviews on Amazon, I only saw one review that was really negative about this, and it seemed to be somebody that didn't know how to turn it on and off, and it, fell and caught fire, almost their RV and all that. So, I mean, if you use common sense with items like this, you'll be just fine. My goal with this today is to show you that a lot of stuff can run just on isobutane canisters. Now, if you're going camping for a weekend, or if you're going to build a bug-out bag, it's a little bit of a big item for a bug-out bag, but maybe a car kit type thing, this could be really, really handy. I wouldn't suggest using this indoors too much, or at least not without supervision. Again, these aren't very expensive. They aren't made of the most high-end, top-quality components. So, as a general rule, I would keep an eye on this if I was using it. But they're fairly safe to use indoors with adequate ventilation, as long as you're there to watch them. This can fall over. It will not shut off when it falls over like the Mr. Buddy heater. So it is a good idea, if you're going to be somewhere indoors, that you're right near this thing watching it, and you have adequate ventilation so that you don't get carbon monoxide poisoning. But let's get into the whole deal of this little package here. It's about 6.3 by 6.3 inches by 5.91 inches. Like I said, you're going to get the heater, the canister stand, and the storage. Now, you can adapt this to other tanks if you want. Again, I showed you this adapter here, and this will go on the butane fuel canister, so it would work with that. Another thing, this is just, from one YouTubers to another YouTubers that have Amazon stores, this item here has made me the most money off my Amazon affiliate store. Isn't that crazy? A little tiny adapter. This little adapter here will hook up with a 1-pound fuel tank and let you run it off that. So there are ways to adapt it. For now, I'd really just keep it with my isobutane stuff and not mess around with it. I'm fairly pleased with how it works with that. And I have had this for a little while, and I have been testing it out. And let me tell you something. It puts off a good amount of heat for such a small little item. You wouldn't think it would. But what we're going to do is test it out. I want to show you some other neat items that I have, that can run on isobutane. Of course, the ever-popular Lixada stove and remote canister stoves I reviewed in the past. But you start running into stuff like this that is safe to use indoors, fully. And this is a little BRS lantern. And this little lantern can run on an isobutane canister. And I've done a review on this. You can check back in my older videos. If you search for BRS isobutane lantern, you'll find it. Really, really neat kind of system. So you have a light, you have a heat source, and you have a way to cook just with one canister. Now, of course, you'd probably bring 2 or 3. But all in all, I'm pretty impressed with the whole idea of just using this small canister instead of lugging around a couple of these. Even for car camping, it's a lot easier to do. So, let me screw this on and show you how it works. Okay, first thing you're going to do, line up your threads and screw it on. It's really that simple. Make sure you're on there tight, but you don't want to kill yourself putting it on there. You don't want to break anything. Just get it lined up tightly. Now, on turning this on, be careful. This is very sensitive. You don't want to turn this on full blast and go, oh, it's dangerous. Well, no kidding. That's why it is. Now, you see there's a little hole back here where you can put some flame in. I'll do that with my lighter back here. So that's the way I'm going to try and light it. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Otherwise, I'll just light it from the front. But let's turn it on. Yeah, we'll light it with my other lighter. That hole isn't big enough. There we go. And I'm just going to let that burn, warm up a little. Starting to get warm. Now once this runs for a little bit, I am going to get my heat gun and show you what kind of temperatures we're getting off this in this kind of area here. So definitely a cool little system so far. Turn it up a little bit. There, you'll start to see the red come on around that grate. That's supposedly the grate that the person was complaining was falling off, but I don't see how it could. It's looks like tack welded and tapped in there with a little dent put into it, so it's really not going to go anywhere. But you can see how bright that's getting. And it's cold out here in my garage today. This is nice. This is a really nice warm flame. Take a look at it. And I don't really have that high. You could turn it up higher, I guess, if you wanted. But I don't really have it all that high. So let me go grab my heat gun, and I'll show you the kind of heat that's coming off this. I'm going to just kind of do it in this area, because of course if I put it in there, it's going to be scorching hot. Okay, let's see. See the laser coming off it. I'm getting 290, 300, 311, 307, 359. Whoop. You can see it's generating a good amount of heat on that outside dial there, that outside reflector. So you definitely get a good amount of heat off it. It is compact. This is all cool down here. Nothing's getting hot down here, and there's no heat radiating down this way. I can point that right out there and show you. That's 75, 76 degrees. No problem. So definitely a cool little system. I'm going to point this at myself and warm up a little because I kind of like that feeling. Again, I wouldn't use this in a tent just because I got a feeling you could really end up hurting yourself with it. Even with proper ventilation, I'm concerned about carbon monoxide. But say outside, if you're cooking a meal and you're cold and you don't want to build another fire or something like this is awesome. Say, maybe a hunting blind where you got lots of open ventilation. Very, very cool. A tree stand, whatever. It isn't all that noisy, as you can hear. It's not too bad. Now we're going to turn it off. There you go. That's simple. You just turn it off. And of course it's going to take a while to cool down. You don't want to stick this back into the bag while it's hot. I am going to show you how the stand works really quick. Let me snap that on there really quick and show you. I probably should have done that before I lit it, but you'll see. Alright, so this is the stand here. And I assume you're going to fold it out a little bit, maybe move one of these in a little. You're going to stick that in there and put that side in there like that. There we go. And this guy you're just going to kind of fold back until it snaps into place like that and fold it forward. And there you go. You got a nice little stand. So, for those of you that didn't see it, you're just going to kind of put it like that. Get these two in their slots, this side and this side. And this side won't fully be in its slot. So you'll just pull it forward until it's nice and snug up against the can. And that can isn't going anywhere. So it's definitely a nice little stand if you have uneven ground, or maybe you can dig it into the ground a little better. As far as I go, I may probably not even take this. I may just keep it like that, clear a spot on the ground, stick it there, and I'm good to go. I may even put a couple of rocks around it so it doesn't tip over, because that's one of my concerns with it. I don't want it to tip over. And since I know people are going to ask me if I could do it with the butane, let's just pop it on there and take a look. I want to try it myself. This is not as stable as that big wide isobutane canister. I did put the adapter on this. These adapters are, again, I've reviewed these adapters in the past. They're pretty awesome. Let me move the camera up a little bit. There we go. And let's light it up. There we go. Took a little longer. You're not getting as much. You are getting heat, but you're not getting as much heat. Probably because the isobutane burns a little bit better. But yeah, it does work. It won't work as hot. I have it open all the way there. But it is starting to, when you hit it, it'll start to get those jets going on the outside. So it is still working. So it does work with the isobutane. So let me wrap this up. So the APG portable isobutane space gas heater. They run about $36 right now as of this video. They are $35.99. I will put a link down below where you can pick one up. Is it a life or death survival item? Absolutely not. there are easier ways to stay warm. However, if you do camp a lot and you do a lot of car camping, even in a car bug-out bag, having a way to power everything via one of these little isobutane canisters is really handy. It's a really cool feature, and it is something I kind of look for because I like the fact that I can use it on my stove. I can also keep warm with it. I can take 2 or 3 of them with me, and even if I wanted to have, say, a little bit of nightlight, I can do it with that. So it's definitely a cool thing to have. It's kind of a neat little adaptation. I'm sure it would work just as well with the propane. We tried it with the butane. I'm pretty impressed with it all in all. For 36 bucks, that's not really all that bad. Definitely something I'm going to be using in the channel to keep me warm outside when I'm doing outdoor cooking videos. So definitely a cool little item. Anyway, folks, like I said, I will put a link down below to where this is. This is the APG Portable Isobutane Space Gas Heater. And I will have my Amazon affiliate link below that if you guys want to check out what's in there. If not, just click the link, shop as you normally would. Don't forget to check out our Food for Patriots link. Now is the time to start getting stocked up on food with all the uncertainty going into the new year. Like I told somebody once, I says, 2020 could just be the trailer for 2021. So let's make sure you get yourself some food put away. Preparewithiridium.com is where you go to get that. And it's really, really good, 25-year shelf life, easy to put away. Just make sure you store water with any freeze-dried food. And it's a really convenient deal right now. They got going for the 4-week. You got $100 off on that 4-week kit. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.